Now, last week must have been a very difficult one for a lot of gold traders, and so we're going to be doing a top-down analysis for this new week that we're stepping into, so we see what we are seeing, so we can share with you guys what we're seeing on the charts, right? So I was able to get a sell on the close of the week, all right, but before that it was quite a stressful week, right? So let's do the top down. Let's start from the higher time frame, the monthly, and there are a few things we're going to have to mark up. We're going to take note of the 50% fib level on the monthly, the weekly, and on the daily candle. The monthly candle, the weekly, and the daily. So looking at the monthly, now we can see that the 50 fib level is right here. We've already marked it since the month closed, right? The month of February. Oh, so yeah. So it's around 4841 level. All right, 4841 level, that's the 50 fib. So it's most likely that price is actually trying to get down into that zone. All right, we said this when the month closed, that price most likely come down into that zone. So it looks like price is actually going to get down into that zone. But now there's another tricky thing. Depending on how the month of March closes, if the month of March closes below the 5,000 level, then that's going to be a bad one, right? It means that gold will most likely drop further down into 4,000 level, right? But if we see the month of March manage to get a rejection and closes above the 5,000 level, it means that the bullishness might actually continue to the upside. All right, so we don't know yet what's going to happen, but we're just going to keep following and observing the charts and get in at any opportunity that we see, right? But let's just wait and see how everything happens at the end of the month. But we're in let's just focus on where we are currently right now, right? While we're waiting to see what happens uh, in the nearest future. So now, like we said, we're waiting to see, probably price might actually be getting down to this 50% fib level. So we might be looking for opportunity to sell, right? Because seeing that gold looks very bearish, right? So we might continue to see a bearish pressure downwards into this level. So what we might be looking for is an opportunity to sell. That doesn't mean that we will not look for opportunities to buy as well, but I think it's going to break below this 5,000 level. Let's go down to a lower time frame so we'll see things clearer. Now, looking at the weekly, now we can now try to mark out the 50 fib level of this weekly candle. I want this to be fast. I might not get it accurately because I want to be fast, right, guys? I've already marked it on my other charts, so just doing this for you guys. So it's going to be somewhere around there, which is which is 5127 level, right? So price could actually come into this level and we could start seeing rejection downwards to the 5,000 level and probably even lower into this level. All right, so 5127 level, is a weekly fib, 50% weekly fib. So we're going to watch and see what happens at that level. Okay, so let's go down to the daily. Let's see what things are looking like there. So on the daily, we can see that gold is majorly, gold is majorly moving sideways, but it's on a massive range, right? You can see this entire range. Gold is moving sideways in this entire range like this. So this is a massive range, right? Almost 1,000 pips or so, right? So it's a massive range. So gold is most likely going to come down, like we said, into this level, right? But before it comes down into that level, we might see gold go back up to that weekly fib that we marked out to test it, and then probably drop from that point. All right, so from somewhere around here, we could now start looking for buys again, depending on how things form, right? We could look for buys from there again. But we should also mark out the 50 fib of this daily candle, because there's a possibility for price not to reach this particular level. All right, so there's a possibility for that to happen. So let's mark out this other one. So the reason we are taking note of these levels is because we are going to be waiting for price to get into those levels, and once price gets into those levels, we are going to observe and just watch how price reacts from those levels, right? So depending on the reactions we get, we are going to now know whether or not we're going to see an opportunity to get in for sales from there, those levels, right? So now looking at the daily, this now is the daily 50% daily this now is the 50% daily fib that we marked out. So like I've been saying, gold could most likely come into this daily fib right here, and then from there we could start seeing selling opportunities, right? Or it could come right up into this level and then start dropping from there. But I think it's most likely going to drop from this level right here, right? So if you see there's some sort of a level right here, resistance right here. There's also some sort of resistance right here, but I think this is the first resistance we see right here. So there's a tendency for price to come into this level right here and then starts to drop. All right, so that looks like a good one. So that might be an opportunity for us as the week opens. We'll keep an eye for that. So we could be looking for sales from there. Our first level target will be 5,000, and then depending on how price continues to push lower, then probably it will come down close to around 4,880 level, right? So that's just what I'm going to be looking out for. So but let's go down to the 4 hours. Let's see what things are looking like there. Now another thing again you can see on this daily, you can see that there's a heads, and this seems to be a heads and shoulders pattern that has been formed right here. All right, there seems to be a heads and shoulders pattern that's formed right here. All right, so but has it broken the neckline? That's the question. Has it broken the neckline? Yeah, I think it has broken the neckline. Okay, it has broken the neckline. As you can see, it's broken the neckline. So price will most likely go back up into this level, test it, and then drop. So that looked good. Need to be fast with this. So let's go to the 4-hour. Let's see what things are looking like there on the 4-hour. All right, still the same thing. So like I said, we're going to be expecting price to come up into these levels, and from there we probably would get in for sales. And if you see here, we have a fair value gap right here, just right before this, inside this we have the fair value gap is right inside this 50% level area. So price will most likely come into that zone and then start to drop. So there seems to be a resistance level around this level, so it looks like a good one. So I think that's what I'm just going to be focusing on majorly. But like I said, that doesn't mean that if we are not presented with an opportunity to buy from 5,000 level, we would buy. We would buy, all right. But I think price is most likely going to drop lower, looking at the way price has formed. So I think that's everything for now. It's as simple as that. I'm not majorly looking for buys at this moment. I'm majorly looking for selling opportunities, all right, to drop lower to this point. But if we see the buying opportunities, fine. So one of these two things could either happen, right? We could see price consolidating in this new week, just moving sideways and not break below 5,000 level, and then maybe sometime later price could push up higher, right? Or we could just see price move sideways a bit and then all of a sudden now drop down into this level that we're talking about. Then when price gets into this level, we're now going to decide what next based on how everything forms. So but majorly just going to be sticking to looking for sales. So guys, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. This is what we're going to be looking for in this new week, and I do hope you guys have a wonderful trading week. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share. So that's it, guys. Peace out.